Hi there folks, my name is Edward Falzon and I am the executive producer of Trappist 1. I'd like to talk to you about the game and take you through a little bit of the gameplay of the playable teaser. Let's install it first. This is the launcher that you'll install from the downloaded file, and once it's finished installing, don't forget to read all the stuff on the right. That's important, just so you know what to expect and what to not expect in this playable teaser. And here we have the lovely title screen. This is actually going to be a real view of the current state of the universe, of the solar system, when the game is fully complete. So you'll actually see the positions of the planets on the login screen. Now, Trappist 1 is based on a real-life solar system called Trappist 1. I know that sounds a little far-fetched, but NASA discovered through a number of very high-powered telescopes and some amazing technology that there is a solar system nearby, 40 light years away, that has 7 Earth-like planets, and we begin our life here on planet 1E, the middle planet, which is in the habitable zone. So we're in a little science forestry research base here, and you see Zara, the new player guide. Now she's there to help you get familiar with the game. She has a couple of quests for you, as indicated by the exclamation mark. And the first thing she wants you to do, just to get used to the gathering and crafting, is to equip an axe that she gives you, and then go and collect some wood. You'll see here that there are 4 kinds of rewards. You get experience points, you get reputation with the Planet 1E faction, and you get 2 kinds of money. The first is tungsten, which is the standard currency of the game, and the second is sway. I'll talk about those in a moment. Now you see here, you're given an axe by Zara. When you accept that quest, when you open the inventory, press I and right click it to equip it in your character sheet. Now we can simply go and look for the rocks, right click on them, and we already collected the 3 bark strips we needed. We need a total of 10 pieces of maple wood. It won't take too long to collect those. Now you'll see that beyond the forestry base is actually quite red, and inside is a weird kind of not exact full color. Now the Trappist 1 star is a red dwarf that mostly emits infrared light that of course we humans can't see, but the visible light that we can see is mostly red. That's why most of the planet is red. If you press L and open the quest log here, you can open your quest details and you can tick the tracker, and you can see it shows up on the right hand side to see your quest progress. You can do that with as many quests as you like. So Trappist 1E is a red dwarf. It's very, very small. It isn't much bigger than Jupiter actually in size, and all of the 7 planets are Earth-sized planets, and they orbit the Trappist 1 star closer than Mercury orbits our sun. They're all very, very close by, and we'll be using the science that NASA has used. We'll be using the scientific discoveries to actually form this game. This is why we live in a red sunset kind of time on Trappist 1E, because that is the calculated light color and the calculated brightness of this planet by NASA astrophysicists. Okay, we've finished our quest. We'll head back to the base. You see the forestry research base is in full color, not simply red. That's because the people of the base have set up these large floodlights that emit cyan light. The light is actually cyan, and when it mixes with the red light coming from the sun, you get proper white light. and that's why we have pockets of full color in the game. So we've handed in, or we're just about to hand in our quest. Get a little progress text there if you're a little bit stuck. We can just press continue. And there we have the EXP, the tungsten, the sway, and the reputation. Okay, now you can see, of course, she has an indicator above her head to accept another quest. Now she has a lot of dialogue as well, so you can talk to her and ask her about, you know, why these very earth-looking trees exist here on Trappist 1E, or you can go straight to the quest, the next quest, and she'll show you how to craft your first basic crafting item. I got a bit lucky when I ran through this game because I picked up enough strips of bark to immediately finish the quest. If you don't have 8 bark strips, just go and chop up a couple of more of those logs on the ground. And you can talk to Zara about why you can't chop down the actual trees. She talks about that. The simple version, the quick version is Trappist 1E is a little short on oxygen, and these maple trees actually produce oxygen quite handily. So the first thing the colonists did when they crash landed was plant some trees in order to boost the oxygen content of the atmosphere. So this is our crafting screen. We right-clicked to learn a blueprint, and then we can see it in our crafting screen. We can see the ingredients required. You see the results. Press craft, takes a few seconds, and crafts. You learn to craft a simple and small pouch to give you a few extra inventory slots, and then you can grab it and drag it over to one of the 4 vertical bag slots there to get a few extra bag slots. That's very simple. That's only to demonstrate that we have a crafting system. We don't have anything to craft at the moment other than the bag slot, but this is just a playable teaser. The purpose of the playable teaser is for you to understand that we have a multiplayer engine, we have crafting, we have gathering, we have equipment and equipping, we have player movement. Obviously, we have a good tone for the game with the red sun and the backstory of the crash landed ship. We were supposed to, the colony ship was supposed to arrive in Trappist 1, but then there was a little bit of trouble on arrival into the solar system, and the landing on the planet didn't go quite as well as we would have liked. And you can learn a little more about that by talking to the people. This is Dax Lyrist. He's a forester, and he offers you additional opportunities to repeatedly gain tungsten and sway and reputation by gathering a lot of wood. That's a repeatable quest. And then there's one quest, Forests of 1E, where you can look around for all of the forests that exist on this planet. And when I say planet, we're talking about a couple of square kilometers for this sample playable teaser. The actual planet will be more like 300 square kilometers. And of course, like any good MMO, we have storage facility so that you don't have to carry everything around. And if you run out of space in your backpacks, you can come to Tyrion and store a few things. Okay, so one of the quests that Zara gives you, the 3rd or 4th quest, is to head north and go and speak to the mayor of the settlement. We just left a little area which is actually a forestry research base in the middle of the maple forest, and the settlement is called Settlement Prime, which you can see on the left is the big crashed ship. And Settlement Prime was founded by the colonists just in the shadow of the colony ship. All of the characters that you see, the NPCs and the players, are actually from, they're actually Ready Player Me avatars. Ready Player Me is an avatar system where you can carry your own likeness, if you like, or your own designed avatar across multiple games. There are, I believe, hundreds of games that use the Ready Player Me system, and we thought it would be quite cool to implement that as our character design, and for players to create their own characters, but also for the NPCs to match. And here we just have a couple of little NPCs as a sample. This is the robotics engineer who will show you and talk to you about the mech that you'll be able to craft yourself in time. She just has a little bit of dialogue, no quests and no blueprints, engineering blueprints for her from her at this time. And you can see Rylan in the back corner there on the right. He does the drones, and you'll be able to control the drones and explore at higher speed. Here on the desk is a sample, a sort of a scale model of the mech that you'll be able to craft yourself in the game. And there she is, that's the mayor of the town. We'll chat with her.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Oh wait, no I'm not.
Now, Elise Quarren has lots of interesting dialogue. It's worth talking to her. She talks about the ship. She talks about a couple of the things you can do here. She has a little bit of information about the sway and the tungsten, and it's absolutely worth chatting with her.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Oh wait, no I'm not.
This is the full ship. It's been not very ceremoniously landed on an island of Trappist 1E, the fifth planet. Now this base, of course, is going to be built up beyond the standard, beyond the small base that it is. This is sufficient for a playable teaser to show you, what we're aiming to build in the full Trappist 1 game. So you see here, I'm just going through the dialogue, some of the dialogue that Elise Quarren has to tell us more about what's going on in the game and what the state of affairs are for the people who survived the crash. Now up here is a shuttle that will take you to the second playable area for the teaser, which is the moon. Let's talk to the shuttle master.
Where next?
He has a little dialogue too, so chat to him if you'd like to talk, learn more about that. Now this loading screen is a stand-in loading screen. It will actually be a live seamless transition in a shuttle from the landing pad on 1E to the landing pad on the moon. We're developing a very cool seamless planetary system, solar system, where you'll be able to fly around with no loading screens. Of course, now just then you saw the awesome Moon Morons rocket, and those who have a Moon Morons NFT will be able to get into the rocket and fly around the solar system. Not very well. The Moon Morons rocket is notoriously badly made because it was designed and built by morons. So it will be very powerful, but very difficult to steer. So that'll be a lot of fun. Let's have a little bit of a rundown here, have a quick look around. This is the moon orbiting Trappist 1E. We're calling it 1E Alpha. And just a few little places to have a quick look, just to get a feel for the graphic style that we're developing, that we're assembling for the game. Now we'll be following NASA's measurements and NASA's observations when making the game. The planets will all be the same relative sizes as the original planets relative to the Sun. We're scaling it down 1,000 to 1 because an actual Earth size is about 6 million square kilometers, and it's not really, it doesn't feel gamey, it just feels too large. So we're doing 1,000 to 1 scale. The gravity on each of the planets will be the same. The orbital distances from the Sun will be the same. Here we can see in the sky the Sun, but also to the right a little red dot. That's one of the planets that's orbiting the Sun. So you'll be able to see, although with 2 planets, there we go, in the distance, you'll be able to see in real time, looking up at the night sky, all of the planets. There's another one on the left just near that ridge, straight ahead now. So all of these are real time, and you'll be able to observe all of this happening. This fellow will tell you a little bit about the land. Now the land, of course, will be purchasable, and it will be NFTs, and he has some conversations. You can't buy land at the moment. This is just the trailer, the playable teaser, so land is not purchasable. This giant green line indicates the boundary of a single parcel of land. It's going to be 200 by 200 meters. There we go. That's a better shot. You get 200 by 200 meters, which is 10 acres of land. Now that seems like a lot in this little playable teaser, which is only about 2 square kilometers for the moon and another 2 square kilometers for the planet. But as I say, the planet will be 300 or more square kilometers, and the moon will be probably in the vicinity of 100 square kilometers. So there'll be plenty of space to have these pieces of land. But be mindful, of course, that there'll be a finite number available, and we won't release all of them at the same time. We'll do it planet by planet, moon by moon. There's the Moon Morons rocket in the distance there.
Well met.
If you watch very carefully, you'll see that the Sun is actually moving very slowly. As a matter of fact, it's not the Sun that's moving, it would be the planet you're on that would be moving, rotating around the Sun. Or in this case, the moon orbits the planet and the planet orbits the Sun. And this will all be done in actual, well, the planets will be orbiting with the observed orbital periods that NASA has observed of the 7 planets of the real TRAPPIST-1 system. The innermost planet has an orbital period, a 1-year period is 1.5 days. And the outermost planet has an orbital period of about 17 days. And that's all, boys and girls. This is all I wanted to show you, a brief overview of the gameplay and the graphical style of TRAPPIST-1. I hope this is enough for you to see that this is going to be a fun game with a lot of exploration and some crafting and building on your own pockets of land, discovering the lore and the backstory and your role in the settlement, and how you can have influence using by collecting and wielding your sway coins, the governance coins. So thanks very much for watching. We'll continue development. You can download the game right now. Go to trappist1.io and look for the playable teaser page. Thanks again.